Welcome back once again, Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas, America! See, I told you guys were going to have to do it. Good job. I can always depend on my Boy Scouts of America to say, America!
Right.
I like that. So, Thomas, you're going to kind of take us through, the new program that starts with kindergarten and then into where's the next level?
Sure.
So we're just going to keep going. Tell us.
So for a boy who joins in kindergarten, which that new program is called Lions, that program is designed to introduce and kind of get their feet wet for them and the adults, because we want the adults involved just as much as we want the youth. And it's not that you have to be there every time and totally both feet in.
Right.
But it gives them an opportunity to try some of the experiences, get outdoors, work with their sons or grandsons or nieces and nephews. We do have a lot of uncles, and I know that even in my son's pack, which is on the south part of town, we get a lot of extended family to bring in. They get a chance to have some of those experiences and trips, police stations and fire stations and things of that nature at that age. Then they progress to Cub Scouts, and as a tiger and a wolf, they do a lot more things from an individual basis, going to look more team-oriented, working together as groups with their partners. And when it comes to about third grade, which is bear, that's kind of where that comes full circle. They really are built around learning how to work as a group. As they enter fourth and fifth grade, they become Webelos and Cub Scouts. Webelos learn the basics of what it means to be a Boy Scout. Webelo stands for We Be Loyal Scouts.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Webelo. And so they work on something called Arrow of Light, which is basically the Cub Scout version of an Eagle Scout. So it's not quite as distinguished, obviously, for Eagle, but it's the one badge from Cub Scouts that they can wear for the rest of their scouting career.
That's so cool. Badge. It's a badge.
Yeah, it's a badge. But they get an opportunity to start learning what it means to work in a patrol method, which means they take on leadership roles. There's going to be a kid in charge instead of an adult. Fourth and fifth grade. Typically towards fifth, they start doing
awesome. Young leaders. Check this out, guys.
Absolutely.
Young leaders. That's perfect.
And then as you get into Boy Scouts, that becomes full circle. So now in Boy Scouts, they are relying on each other, and their Scoutmasters really are advisors. So their leaders become advisors to a youth leader, and the youth leader is responsible for ensuring that things get done with the group. So when they go on campouts, they'll have somebody assigned to cooking, they'll have somebody assigned to cleaning, they'll have somebody assigned to historians, so they're responsible for pictures and taking track of things. They'll have somebody who's a chaplain, who's responsible for if they do any type of religious services while they're out. They'll have an SPL, which is a senior patrol leader, somebody who's in charge of the whole group to make sure everything gets done. And they get to learn, and that's the individual who works for the Scoutmaster. So they learn leadership from a very early progression for us. So that's a step-by-step basis. And then if they go further, even after they achieve Eagle and after they enter high school, there's a program called Venturing. Now, Venturing is a co-ed-based program for boys and girls in 14 to 20. And that progression is kind of fun because I describe it as bumper bowling. If you're an adult leader who has a high school kid, it's kind of fun because you get to sit back in the end of the room. There's a president and there's officers. They are in charge, just similar to the Boy Scouts, except they get to come up and create all the ideas themselves.
Wow.
So, and they can pick any type of hobby. So now you have these young leaders who have this experience, and they can pick anything they want to do. It's pretty entertaining as an adult to see what they can do.
That's cool. I would love to see that.
We had a group of girls that wanted to go to the Mall of America as a trip.
Wow.
It doesn't seem like it's the most outdoorsy thing, but then they're responsible for raising the money, figuring out the trip, figuring out the logistics. And all the adults get to do is once in a while throw that nagging question in that they forgot. So it's pretty simple. A lot of those groups, though, are high adventure, so they go to places like Philmont, New Mexico, which is out in the mountains for weeks, or they'll go to Sea Base, which they get a scuba dive and sailboat and things like that. Boy Scouts of America, Sea Base, actually has our own private islands that the Boy Scouts kids get to go out and do scuba.
Another reason I want to be a Boy Scout.
Been there.
Yeah.
Have you really? Okay, you're going to tell me about it. Is it really? Where is that located at?
Florida.
Florida?
Right in the Keys.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we are Florida girls some days. Yeah, we will go.
Okay, so at what age is that?
For which part?
So we went to the 14 to 20-year-old.
The 14 to 20 is venturing. After that, you can become an adult leader at 21.
Wow. Okay, and then the big thing is the Eagle, right?
The big rank is the Eagle.
And what's the youngest person on it?
How do you become one?
Well, an Eagle, and I'll let Dennis explain a little bit more because he is an Eagle Scout, obviously, and he's been involved in the program quite a bit. An Eagle Scout can happen anytime during Boy Scouts. Now, generally speaking, the youngest ages we usually see at the very earliest are going to be about 13 and 14-year-old kids. But a lot of times, they can take it all the way up until their 18th birthday. So they have all the way until their 18th birthday to earn Eagle.
And is that earning that Eagle? Is that again badges and then
Is it a list of badges that you have to obtain, or
merit badges are a big part of that? There's also an Eagle Scout project, and you want to talk a little bit?
Chime in.
Yeah.
It's the chairman. Here we go.
Listen to you now, Dennis.
Yeah, the 21 merit badges that the Scouts should have after being a 10-foot second class, first class, Star Life, and Eagle. So, and one of them are required, some are tougher than others. Life saving and swimming are
Right.
two of them. Others are kind of fun. I did cycling, for instance, but that was a physical challenge, 6 25-mile hikes and 1 50-mile hike.
Wow.
The projects for Eagle, my sons, I have 2 sons who were both Eagles, and they did projects out at the zoo.
Oh, that'd be
One
fun.
worked on a project on Monkey Island.
Oh, I like that over there, yeah.
So they do some kind of community service
I like
projects
that.
to accomplish it.
Oh.
Okay, and then once they're an Eagle, they can remain an Eagle forever, and if so, what
I
does
am
that
an Eagle.
entail?
I used
Right,
to tell people I was an Eagle. That's incorrect. I am an
You
Eagle.
should are an
I
Eagle.
always will be an
that's so
Eagle.
cool,
That never goes away.
right, okay, that's something.
And there's
to know.
actually benefits out there. They're like in the military and in a lot of different corporations.
Looks good
KOA.
on a resume. And you
That's
It
get
really
recognition.
does. But like at KOA campgrounds, if you're an Eagle Scout, because there's only 3% of the population that's an Eagle Scout, correct? And like
2 to 3, depends on the year.
Okay, well he threw out there 3, this gentleman anyway, and
Close
there are 10 people in his family that are Eagle Scouts, so you know they're really vested, and if they see that on a resume, they automatically bring you into corporate.
Yes.
Like boom. And so I mean there's a lot of benefits
Pay
to
attention,
it.
parents.
Yeah.
Beside all of the
Rob, you
benefits
had
of Boy
a
Scouts.
situation in your family in the Army, wasn't it, with the
Yes, my nephew, he, just for signing his enlistment papers, he automatically got his first promotion,
Correct.
just for signing his name on the papers.
In the military, you get your first promotion automatically as being an Eagle.
Really?
We don't consider ourselves paramilitary.
Yeah.
We're not associated with the
Well,
military.
no.
But because they recognize the skills, the self-reliance, and the strength it takes to accomplish those types of goals, the government does recognize an Eagle, and it's a first-rank advancement for those who are interested in joining the military.
See, and I mean,
That's
that's
really
just
cool.
one of the many benefits.
There's also several colleges, both here locally and
Yeah.
nationally, who give automatic scholarships to those that are Eagles.
That's correct.
No matter what other standings they may or may not have.
Wow, that's just really cool.
Did you hear that, parents?
Again, parents, I mean, that's, you know, we've done so many shows in the past couple of years where, you know, because let's face facts here, you know, things aren't like they were when I was a little girl, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. And we do see a lot of increase in crime on our streets and you know, drug abuse and addictions and all these horrible things. I don't remember those things being a concern when I was growing up. I just don't. I mean, yeah, we had crime, but I don't. I guess maybe, you know, I saw the Vietnam War all the time on TV, but I don't remember seeing constant breaking news of all these horrible things that we see now. And I think that a lot of times parents are so busy trying to work, not just one full-time job anymore, but sometimes 2 full-time jobs.
That's part of the change
That's
right there.
a big part of the change, I think. And if we could get, you know, the parents to reach out and communicate with organizations like Boy
Yes.
Scouts of America, I think it could really change things in just a positive, amazing, good way.
So one of the examples, and we do this demonstration a lot of times, how we communicate to parents the importance of being involved. And it starts out with a piece of accounting tape that's 100 inches long. The idea is 100 years of your child's life. If you're lucky, your life for 50 years of it. So automatically, you're only going to have 50 years with your
Right.
child. By the time they join Cub Scouts, they're 7 years old. So you block out the first 7. By the time they leave your house, they're 22 if they're outside of college and drop
Right.
that off. By the time you want them out of your house, it's closer to 18.
Right.
By the time they stop listening to you, it's somewhere around 14.
Right,
So what
yeah.
you end up with is about 7 inches between the years of 7 and 14 to truly make an impact on your child and make a real impression of who they are fundamentally. What we catch ourselves doing, and I think all of us find out, is we get so busy, because our kids when they're young, we get so busy with work and we get so busy with other things, and we always convince ourselves we'll have time later. What we fail to realize is we only have about 7 true years with our children once they hit school to really make an impact on who they become as adults. These types of programs make a big difference in who
Yeah,
those
they do.
people become. And they have the influences not just beyond their parents, but other wonderful adult leaders that are in this program who give up their time and their energy to make sure they have extra benefits and new experiences is huge.
Well, don't you guys have, I mean, so if you are in a local, I mean, in Girl Scouts, it was our local troop. So, do
Is
you
it
have
called a
that?
chapter?
PAC
Pack.
is
So-
for elementary age kids.
Okay, so you meet once a week? I mean, what's it, walk me through what it's like, you know, for
Sure.
one of the youngins.
Sure. For
We
a
have some
Cub Scout
video
pack-
footage too that we can show you while
Okay,
you're talking about
Very
this.
good. For a Cub Scout pack, it's typically once a week for an hour. Most packs are Mondays and Tuesday nights here locally. There are a couple exceptions, but most of them are Monday and Tuesdays because they work with most churches' schedules. Boy Scout troops are the same thing, 1 hour a week, usually on a Monday and Tuesday. So it's really more about finding that 1 hour to commit to your kid. And I have a hard time thinking that we can't find an hour
Right.
for our own children. So I ask everybody to consider that. What's an hour worth in the long term? That extra hour could mean the difference of really good or bad decisions. The mission of Boy Scouts of America is to help young people make moral and ethical decisions for the rest of their lives.
Can you say that one more time? Say that one more time. I really like that. Say that again.
Absolutely. The mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to help young people make moral and ethical decisions for the rest of their lives.
I love that. I love that. I think we're going to come back. We've got a lot more to get into, including our mom back here.
What it's like to be
What
a
it's like to be a
mom.
mom. Yeah, I'm so
A
excited.
din mom?
A din
Is that
mom.
what you are, a din mom?
Din mom. Okay, all right. Well, we're going to be right back. We have more Real People, Real Life from
Wichita, Kansas, America.
With the Boy Scouts of America. You love it.